A Christmas surprise. I hate my life. Everyone will be getting it on at Jimbo's party, but what am I doing? Traipsing around George Square with my gran. Brilliant. I bet Natalie's there. I bet that clown Tam will be trying to fire in about her. Fuck's sake, man. Look at this, Charles, my gran said, holding up some crap from a stall. Our Rebecca would look so cute in this. What do you think? I couldn't give a fuck about an elf baby grow. Definitely, Gran, that would be smashing. I knew you'd like it, son, she said, fishing her purse from her handbag. I sighed and glanced to the heavens. Flashing LEDs of a Santa waving caught my eye. What a prick. Don't get me wrong, I love my gran, and she's been taking me to the Christmas market since I was a wee boy, but I'm not a wee boy anymore. And did she have to pick a Saturday night? After getting her change, a whole fucking penny, from the guy at the stall, she turned. Right, son, I think that's me sorted. I just need something for Angela's wee one. You know, the young lassie next door, I don't care. I don't care. But I'll just pick something up next time. I still don't care. I want to go home. Oh, and I need to get a bottle of gin for Mary. You know, my bingo pal. Oh, here we go with that bingo shite. Kill me now. My ears pricked at the word home. What? I said. I was saying, is there anything you want to do before we go home? No, Gran, I'm good. Let's go. What about the skating? You used to love scooting around the rink. I probably did. When I was 5. No, Gran, I think I'll give it a miss. I've got a big game tomorrow. Don't want to risk going over my ankle. She shook her head and tutted. You and your football. You need to let your hair down once in a while and enjoy yourself. If I hadn't been dragged here, my hair would be all the way down to the fucking ground by now. What can I say, Gran? I'm keen as. You are so, she said with a laugh. Come here, son. She hooked her arm onto mine. My old legs aren't what they used to be. A bit of me died inside as I shuffled toward Queen Street with a pensioner hanging on to me. She looked like E.T. waddling along beside me with her brown coat and headscarf. At least nobody would be here to see me. We eventually reached the stairs to the train station. 2 big coppers with guns stood at the foot of the stairs, and 2 with dogs were at the top. We climbed the stairs slower than one of the tools with the green P plates on their car. I pulled my phone out. 1825. See if we missed this train. We reached the top, and I nearly shat myself when one of the police dogs started barking and straining at its leash. It must not have liked the look of me. I looked at the copper holding the dog back, and my heart sank. He was looking right at me, beckoning me with one finger. What is this? The dog shut up when the policeman commanded it to sit. He pointed towards a doorway, away from the stream of people who were having a right good gawk as they walked past. He passed the leash to his colleague before joining us. What's your name? He said. Chaz. Do I look like one of your pals? He barked, scarier than the dog by his side. The day I'm pals with a copper is the day I become a loner. No, I said with a shake of the head. Then give me the full name your parents gave you. Show some respect, Charles, my gran said, cuffing me around the ear. I had to stop myself asking the big copper to do her with assault. It's Charles MacLeod. Officer, my gran said in her best telephone voice, is there something wrong? Ma'am, we need to ask your grandson a few questions. He turned his attention back to me. How old are you, Charles? 16. Do you have anything on you shouldn't have? I shook my head. No. Then you won't mind if we search you? Actually, I do mind. Fill your boots. Empty your pockets, please. I rummaged around in my pockets, coming away with a phone, some cash, keys, and a half-empty packet of chewing gum. Do you have any sharps on you? He said, as he snapped on a pair of those blue gloves doctors wear. What, like needles? Needles, knives, scissors. Anything that could injure me. Nah, this is all I've got. He either never heard me or didn't believe me, as he had a good rummage himself. Hold your arms out like this, he said, mimicking the motion. I sighed and rolled my eyes, but did as commanded. The less attitude, the easier this will be, he said. Easier for who? His rubber-protected fingers swept through my hair, felt behind my ears, under my collar, and along both arms. I gagged at his cheap aftershave as his hands reached around and down my back. He stuck both thumbs in my waistband and swept around until they met at the front. He squatted as he ran his hands down both legs, his hands coming dangerously close to my pecker. Slip your trainers off, pal. Oh, so we're pals now. Cold concrete seeped through my thin socks. He finished inspecting my shoes and signalled for me to put them on. He stood and looked at his colleague with a puzzled look on his face. There's one more thing before you can go, Charles. The train's long gone, so do what you want. Sure. Is it okay if my dog has a sniff around about you? Officer, my gran said. Her telephone voice was gone, replaced by a slight hint of annoyance. Is this necessary? We have a train to catch. Ma'am, it won't take a minute. What do you say, Charles? I glanced at the dog, then back at the copper. Does it bite? A sleek smile crept over his face. Only if I tell her to. A copper with a sense of humour. They should put him on display. Fine. Cara, he said, clicking his fingers in front of me. Cara sprung into action and held her snout high. She sniffed the air as she approached and kept doing so as she passed me before coming to a rest between me and my gran. She put her snout against my gran's bag and froze, with only her tail wagging. What the fuck? The two coppers glanced at each other with wide eyes before turning their attention on my gran. Ma'am, the first one said, is there something you... Yes, all right, sorry, she said as she unzipped her bag. You know, I'm quickly becoming a cat person. If looks could kill, then the dog with its snout against Gran's handbag would be dead. Cara, sit. She produced a small jam jar from her bag. It wasn't filled with jam. Wait till I see that boy, she said. He told me glass jars kept the smell contained. Cara's sense of smell is stronger than you think. Is that right? Said my gran. It's a pity she didn't have a cold. She handed him the jar. He looked like he was trying to keep from laughing. The moment he unscrewed the lid, we all caught the scent Cara had picked up. Ma'am, he said, as his eyes darted to me. Is this yours? Less of the ma'am, sonny. I'm not the queen. My name's Jean MacLeod, and yes, it's mine. Fuck me. Gran likes a smoke. Are you aware this is cannabis? I hope it is, else that would be another reason to chin that boy. The copper stole a glance at his colleague, holding the two dogs. He too looked to be fighting the urge to laugh. And are you aware cannabis is illegal? Very. I'm also aware it shouldn't be. It's an absolute joke that they can say something so... Look, ma'am, Jean, I'm not here to debate the law. I'm only here to enforce it. And right now, this is illegal. Right or wrong, one thing I do know, buying this lines the pockets of drug dealers. Sonny, I've lined the pockets of the biggest drug dealers on the planet. For 15 years, I bought their junk. Paracetamol, cocodamol, ibuprofen, diclofenac, methotrexate. And what did it do for my chronic arthritis? Not a thing. Sure, they masked the pain for a while until I built up a tolerance. So, their pushers, my doctor, fed me more and more stronger and stronger pills until I became hooked. And the only thing numb was me. So yes, you're right. It's not ideal lining dope dealers' pockets, but at least they're honest about what they do. I was stunned. The coppers looked stunned. Even Cara looked sheepish for grassing on my gran. "Jean," began the copper. He looked serious. "Does this really work?" "Son, the first night I took it, I had the best sleep of my life. I woke up feeling like I did in my 20s. Before lunch, I'd gutted the house, did the washing and ironing. I even hung the new curtains I bought years before. Since using this medicine, I've been pain-free. It really has given me a new lease of life. Never thought I'd say this, but the sooner we follow the Yanks' lead, the better. And if we confiscate it..." Her body slumped, and she gazed into the distance. "I don't even want to think about what tonight will be like." The copper glanced at his colleague, who gave a slight nod. He screwed the lid on tight and slipped it into my gran's handbag. "Did you say something about having a train to catch?" "I did." My gran zipped her bag shut and flashed them a big smile. "Thanks, son." The police officer nodded and returned the smile. "Safe journey." He turned and resumed his position at the top of the stairs. We walked through the station in awkward silence and boarded our train. We sat across from one another and our eyes met. "Well," I said, "at least I know what to get you for Christmas. Charles, if I ever catch you buying dope, I'll break every one of your fingers." I smiled and looked out the window. Turns out Gran's a bit of a badass.